Linus Tech Tips recently had a massive complaint and whine fest about how difficult and trying it is to be a multimillionaire online influencer because he caught the tiniest of strays in that recent video by MegaLag exposing Honey for, being a scam pretty much, I could say. At the very least, highly false advertising and being dishonest about what the program actually does. But oh my goodness, Linus is really having just such a hard time with being minorly criticized here. But the way he talked about it, you would think people want his head on a spike. Like it's just absurd.
All right. Well, on that note, why don't we move on to sort of the other heavy topic for this week, which is, of course, Honey.
Oh, I should probably say just the criticism of Linus was that he was aware of at least some of the problems with Honey, but he didn't really make an effort to make that public knowledge at all.
So, first of all, big shout out to MegaLag for the work that was done reporting on what Honey and parent company PayPal has been up to with respect.
He says major shout outs, but I get the impression that is not what he feels in his heart. He does not feel major shout outs towards MegaLag in his heart.
This is truly a very professional podcast, video podcast, whatever this thing is. Thank you for that, Luke.
Yeah.
Since when are you the comic relief?
His alarm went off, and he had to shut it off. That's the comic relief. Oh my goodness, can you guys believe it? His alarm went off. I don't even know if they edited it out or you just actually couldn't hear it, but whoa. This is some comedy right here. I think they call this a technology podcast, but this is comedy. This is Joe Rogan-esque.
Your job is to laugh at the comic relief. You're the laugh track.
Untimely alarms. I think that's my only standard alarm for this week that I didn't pause for the week because I was out.
Right,
and that's my leave for WAN show alarm.
And then WAN show was early because I have a flight to catch. Yeah. Brilliant.
Too funny.
Yeah. So massive shout out to MegaLag for the work that he put into digging into what exactly Honey's been doing. So I've got a few things to kind of discuss. First of all,
just notice there he says shout out to MegaLag for digging into what Honey's been doing.
The only point from MegaLag's video that we were aware of 3 years ago when we halted our Honey sponsorship was the affiliate code ripping. We heard about that.
Oh, 3 years ago, huh? That's interesting because this video, 5 reasons that Honey app is a scam. It's the money-saving app that actually costs you money by Original MCW. This was uploaded 4 years ago. What's the actual date? July 11th, 2020. And listen to this here.
The most common complaint that people have about the Honey extension is that you never actually get a discount. You end up usually 99.9% of the time with 1 or 2 messages. This site doesn't have any working codes, or you already have the best price. But Honey is lying. There are better prices out there, there are codes out there, but either the Honey extension can't find them, doesn't know about them, or quite often, there's a lot of codes Honey will refuse to use. I've tried this out myself and I found it on multiple sites. Here's just one of them. So Honey says there's no code for this site. There is no discount. I have got the best price. But here's a code that does work. And this code will save me £160 from how much I would have to pay if I was using Honey. Honey won't tell me about that code because if I use that code to get £160 off, Honey doesn't get any money. It's the affiliate that gets all the money. They don't care. They're a business, I get that. But it's just when they tell you there are no codes or you have the best price when that clearly is not the truth. But most of the time you see there are no codes, the customer kind of feels like, well, I have got the best price. And they just buy the products. Honey have placed their cookie there and they've got their commission, but they are costing you money.
So, in my opinion, that's one of the 2 major criticisms of Honey that were in MegaLag's video. This one that they will tell you you have the best price or the best coupon when you don't. And from the sounds of it, what it actually is that when these companies partner with Honey, because some of them actually partner with Honey, they'll say, hey, we have this 25% coupon, but that's only for the real thrifty people who look for it and search it out. Or, you know, we give it to our special people that get the code. We don't want everybody getting that. So give them this 5% off code, but do not tell them about the 25% off one. So, you know, Honey tells you got the best deal with that 5% one. Well, you don't. If Honey didn't tell you that and you went and looked, you'd find a better code. And then the other one is that, and he touched on it there, the affiliate jacking. If you have Honey installed and you click on, you know, some YouTuber has a buy the Air Up water bottle, click in the link in my description, and you click on that, and then Honey asks it in the checkout, do you want us to check for any codes? And if you click on the Honey extension, say, yeah, please check, then they take the affiliate code for themselves. They change the URL or whatever, and instead of the affiliate money going to the YouTuber that you like, it goes to PayPal. So those are the two main ones. And in that video there, he mentions both of them. And that's the one that you could figure out. You could just test it out like that guy did. And they say that they did that same test for a different similar app that they took a sponsorship with after this one. So yeah, maybe they didn't know, but very easily could have, and they did know about the affiliate jacking. They'll say that they knew about that part.
From some tweets, like this one from Barnacles. We also saw it covered on our own forum. There we go. So there was that was not really news.
This is not them covering it. Just to be clear, it's some other person commenting about it, not Linus Tech Tips.
That part of it. But you know, obviously, as creators.
Oh, and look at the title of this stream. It's so obnoxious. I have to address this on my own. No, you caught a minor strike. You don't have to address the Honey scam. You just need to address why did you not make any sort of stink about this publicly, even though you made very public sponsorship segments about it.
Creators, we saw that and we were like, hey, that's not really cool.
Yeah.
But we didn't really think that, other than, you know, any creator friends, that it was something that impacted the general consumer. So it wasn't something that really merited a full video or anything like that.
They say, yeah, we told other creators about the affiliate jacking so that they wouldn't use Honey or sponsor it, but we didn't really do anything else about it. We didn't warn anybody else.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Were you live for that? They heard you or no? Oh, okay. Dan said, yeah, he's done and the goal is done. But guys, please, I'm sure that the goal is really helpful, but I'm sure that any little bits.
What is this goal? Is this DSP? The goal?
Any little bits could help.
Yeah, I don't think GoFundMe looks like it's real time, so we'll have to wait a sec for that to come through. But
okay. Thanks, Dan. Okay. Anyway, affiliate code ripping, bad. Affects creators, doesn't affect the end user.
It does though, right? Not in any huge way, but if you're considering making a purchase and then a YouTuber that you like says, hey, I have an affiliate code for that thing that you've been considering buying, that could be what pushes you over there. It's like, oh, hey, I was considering it already. If this YouTuber would get a little cut of it, I'll go for it. And then it doesn't actually go to the YouTuber, it goes to PayPal. It's not like you're being completely screwed over. It's not costing you any extra money, but you're being deceived about where your money is going.
We were not the only ones who knew about the scam, though. Here's a video from 2020. I actually didn't watch this one, but I don't know. The whole thing for me with
Yeah, so he was able to find that video now, and if he had looked 4 years ago, he would have figured out what Honey did, right? So he's willing to look now that he's getting a little bit of flack for knowing and not making noise about it. Now he'll go and Google honey scam, is honey legit or whatever. Before, that was unreasonable to expect that, but now he will do it to get people off his back.
This is that MegaLag did reach out to us for comment, and my general position on it was, yeah, we dropped these guys 3 years ago. This all came out, like the affiliate ripping stuff, everything we knew about came out years ago. I'm very interested to see the video on all of the other stuff. I don't really know what exactly it has to do with us. I am a little confused still as to what exactly it has to do with us.
It's weird to be, Linus says a lot of the time he doesn't get it, and I assumed that he wasn't a stupid guy. But, and maybe he's just playing dumb here, and he's not actually that stupid. You took a sponsorship deal with Honey. You spent, I'm assuming, at least 60 to 90 seconds in multiple videos saying, hey, download and use Honey. And people did that, and they kind of got screwed over because of that, right? So if you did 50, 60 sponsorships, you spent a full hour talking about how great Honey is to your fans. And you're sitting here acting as if it's such an insane ask that when you found this out, you make a 5-minute video saying, hey guys, we've been shilling this Honey thing to you guys, but we found out it's not what they advertise themselves as. We would recommend you uninstall it, and you shouldn't use it. We're sorry about that, and that's our bad. And then fair enough. That could genuinely be the entire thing, except for, some hardcore haters. That probably won't be enough for them, but those people are never going to be pleased. Most people, especially your fans, you come out and say that, they're going to be fine with that. Most people are not going to be like, you didn't investigate the code of the extension or anything like that. But, oh, you know what? I used it and I didn't notice that, so I could see how you guys didn't notice that. I mean, I do think the creator should have a little bit more responsibility than the viewer, because they're making money off of the sponsorship. But either way.
Anyway, back when we dropped Honey, we had a call with their executive team. It was clear that they had no intention to revise their business model away from the affiliate code ripping. So we decided to end our sponsorship agreement with them. If we'd known about any of the more end-user centric issues discussed in MegaLag's video, such as purposely not giving users the best deal possible because of behind-the-scenes partnerships with companies,
So if you had looked up that video and watched 2 minutes of it, kind of the way you did recently, I mean, you just looked it up. You didn't even watch the 2 minutes. You say you didn't watch it, but if you'd done that then, you would have known.
We very probably would have raised more alarm bells, but we had no reason at that time to believe that Honey was in.
He can't even say if he knew those other things he would have. Let's just hear it again.
Not giving users the best deal possible because of behind-the-scenes partnerships with companies. We very probably would have raised more alarm bells, but we had no reason.
If we had known, we very probably would have made more noise. To me, that sounds like he's basically admitting we wouldn't have said anything unless we really felt pressure to for some reason. He's like, oh yeah, no, if we had known all this stuff that came out now and people are so upset about and we're getting flack for, even though we'd already distanced ourselves from them, then we very probably, maybe, definitely wouldn't have said something about it.
Reason at that time to believe that Honey was anything other than what it claimed to be, which was a coupon finding service that took an affiliate cut. Many in the industry stopped working with Honey without an LTT video being made. So I think that one characterization of this whole situation that
we were the only ones that knew and didn't tell anyone.
We knew and didn't tell anybody is bizarre.
We were publicly informed by other people and then acted on it.
Yeah, sure. Maybe other people also should have said something. The thing is, you're better equipped than most other channels to actually explain what the app did and what the problem was with it. And you said you had an interview with Honey's CEO or board or whatever that was. So some higher ups, right? I'm assuming not everybody else did that, but you had confirmation from the higher ups at Honey that yes, they do this and they don't plan to change their ways. And you're still just like, I don't understand why people are upset that we just didn't make a 5-minute segment in a video or a 5-minute video about this. People are really asking so little of you, and even now the criticism is pretty minor. People are not wanting to burn you at the stake or anything like that. They're just like, why didn't you say anything? It's weird. And then he's just like, oh, what is this? Why are they trying to end my career? Like, stop. It's just super, super obnoxious the way that you're victimizing yourself here.
Also, we publicly posted on our forum that we dropped them and gave the reason for it.
We've also never really been like, people have tried to draw a parallel.
I think this is what they said. They made a forum post.
Also, we publicly posted on our forum that we dropped them and gave the reason for it.
We've also never.
The only thing that I've seen is, here, let's watch this. This is what the guy actually said about Linus in this video. We'll just watch this part.
But did any of the influencers who are engaging in affiliate marketing ever catch on to what Honey's been doing? Well, it turns out yes, at least one of them did. Linus Tech Tips, who have been promoting Honey since 2017. So here's how I found this out. You see,
Okay, so yeah, since 2017, and I think Linus said they dropped them in 2020, 2021. So they sponsored them for years. You definitely spent over an hour telling people that they should try out Honey. And you're just like, I don't understand why people think we should have made one video about it. Absolutely outrageous. Yeah, because you literally spent hours of your life telling people that they should download the app.
one day I was browsing Linus's forum to see if anyone had raised a red flag about Honey. And sure enough, back in 2020, someone sounded the alarm, but it was ultimately ignored. However, in 2022, a different user noticed that LMG were no longer promoting Honey and asked the team if they had been dropped as a sponsor, to which one of Linus's employees responded with, "We ended the partnership with Honey."
Linus does not show any other forum posts about this. So him saying we posted on our forum about this is that they replied to a person who asked a question about it. They didn't even make a dedicated forum for it or anything. I mean, what percentage of people who saw the Honey sponsorships are gonna see this? It's just, I don't understand why he's being such a slimy wuss about this. Like, there really is not all that much to own here. You could just own it and move on instead of being this Hassan-esque victim.
Honey due to the way their service interacted with affiliate links. Essentially, if someone clicked on an affiliate link and then they use Honey and search for a deal, Honey will override that tracking link even if they don't find you a deal. That didn't jive with us, so we ended the partnership. Okay,
So yeah, they're saying that they did know about that at that time in 2022 in writing. I don't know how many other YouTubers that put it in writing that they knew about this and didn't say anything. That's also probably why you're catching more flack than other people.
so they had no idea this was happening, and it took them several years to catch on. That's quite telling, because we're talking about a tech-savvy YouTube channel that's run by a very large team. The fact that it took them several years to figure this out, in my opinion, really underscores the deceptive nature with which Honey operates. If Linus and his team didn't know, I can't imagine many other influencers would have known either. Now, I have to say, as a longtime viewer and supporter of Linus's channel, I'm incredibly disappointed they weren't more public with this discovery. I get this specific issue doesn't directly affect their viewers, but surely they must have realized the wider impact this could be having on the creator community, a community they're a part of.
So that's what he's just using as a viewer and a fan of Linus. I'm disappointed that he didn't make this more public, and this is why Linus is feeling like he's being attacked over. They're just the most reasonable criticism ever. Like, yeah, I like your channel. I thought you were kind of more honest than this. That you would have said something about that. You know, given what I've seen from you, I would have expected you to. And then, how dare they? How dare they question me?
I think that matters. And it's not as though they only promoted Honey once or twice. They did approximately 160 sponsored segments, all of which remain live on YouTube. Those videos have accumulated around 194 million views. According to my data,
But how many views did that forum post have? Probably pretty similar, right? I get like 190 million at least, I would think.
Ever really been like people have tried to
Oh, and I don't think if I showed this, but shout outs to the MegaLag guy exposing the honey influencer scam.
draw parallels between this and Eufy, but Eufy's a tech company
Well,
that had huge end user problems.
yes.
Like that's something that we do, that is something that we have done always.
And Eufy had major implications, like immediately right now for user privacy.
Yeah.
Whereas Honey, it's in some ways it's like more insidious, but in other ways it's less immediately damaging than like, hey, an unencrypted feed of like every camera that our company has sold. Like there's bad, and then there's like really, 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 really bad.
And also in our realm.
Beautifully said, Linus. And I mean, that is a great point. This thing, only kind of bad. Other things, really, really, really bad. So, shut up.
As for Karma, why we took a sponsorship from Karma, they assured us that they didn't do any link yoinking, which when we tested it seemed to be true. We only worked with them once. We did 4 sponsor spots on 3 videos, and then
I guess
didn't
they
work with
changed
them
since
anymore.
then.
As for the landing page that uses our likeness to promote Honey,
Yeah, so this other one, they test before they do any sponsorships. That does it yoink the links? Oh, doesn't seem like this one does. Okay, so you couldn't have tested that before, or you couldn't have watched that guy's video that came out 4 years ago, or you couldn't have just said, "Hey guys, are bad." Instead, it's just constant deflection and victimization and all of this lame stuff. Is it just man up for 5 minutes and own it? No, nobody would care that much. I mean, people still probably aren't going to care all that much, but I do. I find this incredibly obnoxious.
we no longer have any direct contacts that are working there, but we're working to have the page removed. Hopefully we can. Speaking of Eufy, Anchor still uses our likeness. And with these...
Yeah, and here, more about how he's a victim of these other companies. They're using his face on their page on their website, which, like, yeah, that does suck, and I totally get why you would want to have that down, and it's very scummy of those companies to do that when you're not affiliated and you ask them to take it down. But it's like, do we really need to hear about this right now? Is it because it's just a deflection? That's what it comes across. Oh yeah, guys, we have it just as bad as everybody else who's ever been scammed. I mean, my picture's on 2 websites. Okay, yeah, you also have 16 million subs. I don't really feel that bad for you that your image is used in ways that you're not crazy about. It's kind of like a McDonald's worker complaining that the customers were rude to me today. Yeah, that's why most people don't want to work at McDonald's. But I'm not really interested in hearing that from you, right? I got problems at my job.
These really large and in some cases overseas companies, it can be very difficult to get stuff like that fixed. Ike's Orange says, Linus, people think that because the video sort of implies that only you knew, so people are misinterpreting that. I mean, I don't think it sort of implies. I think our prominent featuring in the video leads people there. I don't really understand that. I don't really get.
I just don't believe him that he doesn't understand. Unless he really is dumb, but I don't think he would have 16 million subs if he was all that dumb. I think he is just saying this. It's very simple, man. You were very loud saying people should check out Honey. You found out Honey was not what you were told that it was and what you told viewers that it was. And all you did was reply to a forum post about it.
Get the emphasis on us, to be honest with you. I don't really know what people are expecting me to say about it other than, yeah, we
Dumb or a liar, then. Dumb or a liar.
we like heard about it in the news, same as apparently basically everyone else, given how many folks stopped working with them in the 2020, 2021 timeframe. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Sea Surfer says it's also
He comes across as way more nervous than he should. I don't understand why this is his approach to it. It just comes across as more shady. It's like, okay, were you getting a cut of all the affiliate yoinking, or what? Why are you so shifty about this? Just own the little thing and move on.
arguable that LTT was by far the largest channel and thus had the platform to motivate wider change. It's arguable. It's very difficult to argue. I mean, given that Mr. Beast was the #1 honey promoter, I think that if you were to make the argument that LTT is bigger than Mr. Beast, then not only would that be a difficult argument.
All right. Well, I don't know, but I would think if people are saying to Mr. Beast, "Why did you do this honey sponsorship?" he would say, "Yeah, I didn't know that. My bad." Right? I think he would own it more more than you guys are. And he didn't know, or supposedly, I'm assuming that he didn't know about the inner workings of this. Otherwise, why would he promote it? Because he's losing money from honey.
You'd be kind of a fucking idiot. So, like, I don't know, dude.
If you argue against Linus Tech Tips on this, you're an effing idiot. At least if you make that specific argument. But I get the impression that's what he thinks about pretty much everybody critiquing him.
Dude. Cool.
Yeah.
Should we move on? Like, I don't
have a ton else to say on this. I think
yeah.
Honestly, when I watched the video and
why is he acting? He's just so defeated here. It's the end of the line, guys. I was minorly critiqued in a video that people liked. Ugh. Woe is me. How much must I suffer? I mean, he's Dark Viper up in here. It's just so lame. Why? Why do all of this instead of just briefly owning it? Could have been a shorter segment than this.
Remembered us dropping honey, but didn't particularly remember the reasons. After some people brought up the old video that you had mentioned, and a couple other things, I vaguely remembered that, but I wasn't really a part of video stuff at that time. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
The situation's bizarre, dude.
No, too bad. You're getting burned at the stake with Linus.
I am a victim here.
I was surprised by
I don't know if people notice that.
Yeah.
As a creator for whom affiliate revenue from...
Did I just talk over the...
I am a victim here.
I was
Okay. So I've been saying that he's victimizing himself, and maybe you disagree with that assertion. Well, too bad. Linus said it. Linus said, oh, he's a victim here. Which, yes, technically you are. But that's like Tim Pool and Dave Rubin saying they're victims of Russia's hundreds of thousands of dollars because they chose to not investigate or ask any serious questions and just take the money, or they were down with it, right? And Lauren Chen, when she was texting the Russian guys, Lauren Chen was the main American contact that got in touch with Dave Rubin and Tim Pool and stuff. But when she was asking the Russians about, or her contacts, supposedly that's all she knew, her contacts about payment being late, and she's not getting a response, she Googles Moscow time zone or whatever that is. She's looking up what time it is in Russia then to see, oh, is it the middle of the night? Is that why they're not replying? So, I mean, they knew. And also, you're making absurd money and just not investigating it at all.
surprised
by
the...
I don't know if people notice that.
Yeah.
As a creator...
But yeah, are you really going to say that Lauren Chen... Well, actually, technically, the FBI or whatever doesn't say Lauren Chen is a victim. She's part of the thing. But are you really going to say Tim Pool and Dave Rubin are victims? It's like, why on earth would you be making that amount of money? All right, you had to have known something was up.
for whom
But no, victim.
affiliate revenue from Amazon was in 2020 7% of our business team's revenue. Like, this had a significant impact on our business, and absolutely it would have impacted other creators too, and they are victims in this. But it doesn't change that anyone who relied on affiliate revenue and who had it skimmed by Honey was victimized by Honey. We were compensated, at least partially, by
a lot of the people that were sponsored by them were, which was like the internet at that point in time.
Yep. But like, guys.
And then the Karma Now thing looked bad. Working with them one time, that's something that stood out to me quite a bit during the video, was that it was assessed in its current state, because you obviously can't go back and assess it from the past. But that gets tough because you don't know, like what you guys were saying, they assured that it didn't work that way. You tested it. Okay, cool. They can change it on you. They could have changed it on you immediately after the sponsor spots went up.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
We don't know when it happened.
I don't know. It was all
could have happened
ago,
years later.
Point.
Like,
yeah, you're right. They could have tricked you. So I guess you just have zero obligation to your audience that you've made millions and millions of dollars because of. And I'm not even saying this like you owe your audience. It's just you can't just give them that respect after they've helped you afford a very nice living, like living like the 1%. You can't. It's just so crazy. It's just such a minor response would have covered him. But instead, he's doing this whine and moan fest.
Who knows?
Voight says, for me, it felt like Honey was quietly dropped as a sponsor with no messy breakup. Could have been any reason. But as you said, back then you only knew about the affiliate ripping, which isn't too bad, especially for users. Yeah, exactly.
It's really bad for creators.
Yeah, it's really bad for creators.
But it was also being blasted from...
Yes. We got it, Linus. You are the most victimized out of everybody in this scenario. We got it.
From the rooftops at that point in time.
Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe MegaLag is living up to his name.
It's like, at that point...
See, yeah, and then he says that. So before, super thankful to that investigation. But then he says...
But it was also being blasted from the rooftops at that point in time.
Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe MegaLag is living up to his name.
It's like...
Super shout outs to him, but actually he's behind on everything. What a dope.
At that point in time, it's also like not really our story to break. Like if other people are already reporting on it and it's getting around a lot.
Yeah.
It's getting around a lot just now. You guys knew about it sooner.
I think it's blowing up so much right now because of the downsides for users.
Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So cool.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Positive things?
Yeah. Yeah. Can we do that?
Do you want to talk about the Colin and Samir?
Oh, yeah. I've not really seen much of this guy. I do have one clip that I remember seeing about him in the past, but other than that, I'm not gonna watch tech stuff or whatever. But oh yeah, there it is, 194 million. And also, here's this. I'm not saying Markiplier is some dope or anything like that, but I don't think he's like a genius, right? I've never watched much of him, but I assume he's roughly average intelligence, probably a little bit smarter since he was able to navigate YouTube so successfully, but I don't know. So he gets an ad for Honey on, he's watching a video here or something, whatever.
Can I pause real quick? I have a natural distrust of Honey. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I naturally distrust Honey. And I don't... Okay, all right, guys. All right, we're going to stop. Everyone listen. I don't know what it is, but my gut tells me that nothing in life is free. So where's all these savings coming from? And like the money that people get from Honey, I don't trust it. They push so much advertising. They push so much advertising on YouTube. They do brand deals with other YouTubers. I think they've even offered me, and I said no, because I just don't trust Honey I have a feeling there's going to, in like a couple years, there's going to be the great honey conspiracy of like 2022. And I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's fine. And like,
this is 2020 that Markiplier was saying this.
I got no problem with like the concept of an app that like clips coupon codes for you. That's great. That sounds great on its surface, but there's some shady shit going on. I can't put my finger upon it. But why do they spend millions on advertising? And
if you weren't on YouTube at the time, it was crazy. They were like one of the biggest sponsors at the time, where you see so many YouTubers shouting out honey.
People are getting money out of it, and then people are saving money out of it, and that makes sense, but the other part doesn't make sense, and then something's going on here. Where's all this money coming from? Where is honey getting the money? Where's honey getting
Was this above Linus? He's not able to think at this level. He can't take in these high level ideas. Where is honey making this money? How are they making enough money to advertise and sponsor this many people based off of their business model? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, and yeah, here's they touch on honey a little bit more, because Linus Tech said he's upset about this. He really is, and he can't get it out of his head that he was lightly criticized.
I'm working my dream job at a big tech data center.
Nice.
The work is fulfilling and amazing, but there are moral implications to working for a major tech company.
Oh, so he works for Amazon.
Do you have advice for my moral conflict?
There's lots of other data centers you could work at.
Also, it could be worse. You could work for an evil company like Linus Media Group, who didn't tell anybody about honey.
Yep, that's what I've been hearing. Just people left and right saying, "Wow, I saw that video that came out about honey, and I just can't believe what an evil guy Linus is." It's really, he's up there with the baby murderers. Just a truly evil guy doing honey sponsorships and not making more noise about finding out a problem about it. Truly evil. That's what people are saying, right?
Yeah, dry your tears with money. That helps.
Some amount of it's like, you got to survive yourself. And a lot of people will put their own, as I sort of am right now, will put their own
making sure y'all are up to speed on that.
On you, so you have to decide.
Yes, thank you. We all needed that. And then even after you shouted /s obnoxiously, still explain it more. Thank you.
Where your line is.
Your line is?
Oh my. Get it? Linus. Anyways,
I get it. It's just not funny.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get right. No, I missed.
Okay, you don't get to say that after you just explained something entirely unfunny that you did, Linus.
I missed it. I missed it.
I didn't do it intentionally.
I was busy waiting for chat to actually, for the people that didn't hear the segment earlier on the honey stuff, to be like, "OMG, is that what he really said about it?"
Yeah.
For those of you who,
so he's saying he really expected people to be outraged at him for that. It's like, why do you keep casting yourself as the victim of this? Oh, I thought I was going to make a joke about it and everybody was going to attack me and say, is that your real opinion about this? You like stealing money? Right? Wait, why? Why are we pretending that this has been the response? It's just so bizarre. It makes it seem like there's something more shady than what we know, that this is his reaction to it.
who weren't watching earlier, what we said was, hey, we don't really know what you're talking about. We didn't know almost any of this stuff at the time, and we dropped.
You knew half of the major criticisms, and you easily could have known the other one, though.
The sponsor years ago. If you're mad, that's great. You should be mad. Be mad at Honey. Be mad at their parent company, PayPal.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's what everybody is doing, all right? Well, I guess now I'm mad at you, but I'm mad at you because you're casting yourself as the victim this whole time. Otherwise, I would have barely cared. But I said, oh, he knew about that and didn't say anything? And then he apologized? I was like, okay, still seems a little bit lame that you didn't come out at the time, but I mean, I don't watch Linus Tech Tips, so I don't really care, right? And then your fans are just going to like you pretty much anyway. So, it just makes no sense to have this approach.
Yeah, I don't. There seems to be a perception out there that like what you invest in and the job that you have should have zero reflection on you at all, and I don't completely agree with that. I understand that.
And then this guy right here, he even says, "I do think how you make your money should reflect on you somehow." But it's outrageous that we would judge you for making money off of honey and finding out it wasn't what they said it was and what you said it was, and saying anything. We're not allowed to think that that says anything about you. But your co-host right here is saying that, yeah, I think you can judge regular people a little bit based off of their Amazon database job or whatever they said this was.
Sometimes you're in a life situation where like you just don't have another option.
And he said right there, Linus said he agrees.
There seems to be a perception out there that like what you invest in and the job that you have should have zero reflection on you at all, and I don't completely agree with that. I understand that sometimes you're in a life situation where like you.
He agrees with it straight up, just not when it pertains to him. All right, the ways regular people at their 9 to 5 or whatever type of jobs that they have, that does reflect on their character. But me making money off of honey and then not saying anything about it being a lie when I knew, nah. That's outrageous for you to judge me about that.
Just don't have another option.
You don't have the luxury of just like taking a stand.
Yeah, and that's one thing, and I am not shooting at that at all. But I will say for myself, I've had extremely lucrative potential job offers that I have not wanted to take because of where they were at, and I didn't take them. So like, it's not impossible. And like I've
heard they must
have
been awful because I mean, you work here,
and we didn't make a video about honey. So like, I don't know. It's possible. I also know
it's just so obnoxious. Act like people are saying you're evil for this, and then laugh at how ridiculous they are. Okay, all right.
Know people that had very good, solid jobs, and then took a job somewhere that they didn't like the company and complain about it all the time. And I'm like, this is entirely your fault.
Are you just calling me out?
Yeah. The prime example is Dan.
Have you been reading my blog?
But yeah, like, I don't know. You should care at least a little bit. If it's your only option, it's your only option. I'm not trying to dig you for that. You gotta put food on the table. But, if you have a range of options, life isn't just about making more and more money 100% of the time, in my opinion.
Yes, it is, which is why I never made a video about honey.
because
I mean, he's really bothered that people would criticize him about this, even though he just agreed that it reflects on your character, how you make it. It's crazy to me. Like, really, when I heard about Linus in the video exposing honey by the MegaLag guy, I expected this to be just absolute nothing with this Linus Tech guy. But I can't believe what a sniveler he is. Really, it's disgusting. I don't understand why he can't just for 5 minutes man up, accept the smallest bit of responsibility, and say my bad. It's insane. Just keep bringing it up. How everybody thinks you're so evil. You're such a victim.
You had some form of financial gain there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's not that honey was stealing my money.
Losing the AdSense on that video was very financially beneficial to you.
You mean the affiliate revenue?
No, on the honey expose video.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not making that money and also not exposing someone who was stealing from me.
Yeah,
that was definitely my motivation.
It really lined your pockets.
You got it, dude. The number of times that I see people be like,
I mean, this is driving me nuts. I'm just gonna repeat myself if I were at this point, but this is just so utterly obnoxious of him.
How is it that Linus spends so much money on this, but he couldn't afford $500 to test something? They're so close. They're so close to the answer.
They just need a little.
So now he's just whining about another criticism that he gets. I mean, that is messed up. I can't believe people would criticize somebody with 16 million subscribers. That's so messed up. I mean, the gall of people. So Linus seems like was not the only one who was aware that the whole honey thing was a little bit shady. H3 slipped up in a couple of older podcasts and kind of let people know that he knew. This was 3 years ago, October 1st, 2021, that he says this.
Women's Giddy Up cardigan. This one's real nice. It's real
I
real
ordered
nice.
that one.
You did?
Yeah,
Well,
I did.
didn't that? First of all, that's very sweet of you, but we can hook you up.
Oh, well,
Did you
next
get a
time.
coupon code or something from Lena?
Honey.
You did?
I got, yeah.
Wait, honey worked?
Yeah. 15.
Honey's not supposed to work on our website.
Ooh.
He's like, wait, honey worked? Honey's not supposed to. We have a partnership with them. They agreed not to share our big codes.
No, but you have an employee discount.
Yeah, you have an employee discount.
Well,
But you
I'm
also
happy
can
to
get-
No,
know.
but you freaked me out because Honey sometimes messes our website up.
Oh, is it because my email is attached to...
No, this is a testament to Honey.
No, Honey didn't
They're
work.
so good that if we give someone a coupon code for like a one-time use, they go crazy and recommend it to everyone, and it like fucks our whole shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you scared me when you said Honey worked.
He says this, but I'm pretty sure you could just make it so the code has limited uses. I've seen other websites that do that, where I'll look for a coupon code and then I put it in there and it'll say something along the lines of error, this code has exceeded its usage limit or something like that. And they could just do that, and then it wouldn't matter if Honey found out about the code because it would only work for 5 people or whatever. Or you could even do just individual codes, like if you want to give an influencer a code so that they buy in your merch and check it out or something, you could just give them individual one-time codes. But for some reason, he's blaming Honey. It's like, well, yeah, Honey's actually doing what they're supposed to do there. They found out about a better code and they're telling people about it. And H3's like, well, that's messed up. What the heck? They're not supposed to do that. Okay, well, sounds like you gave the game away a little bit, Ethan.
But I think it was just a coupon code. Anyway, shirts, socks, go ahead, go over the website.
That's all they say here. And then he touches on it again briefly in this one, which was November 6th, 2020. So he doesn't say as much here, but he kind of touches on the same thing. So I'm assuming that he did know at this point that Honey doesn't give you the best codes that it knows about all the time. And he had many sponsorships with Honey as well.
Honey's such a bitch, by the way. I love Honey, but let me tell you, because sometimes you do a code for somebody, and then Honey's like, I got it, everybody gets it. So it's like we have to fight versus Honey now.
They're too good at what they
Yeah, sons of bitches.
So he's saying the same problem he said before. That Honey finds out about a code and then they give it to everybody. They're not supposed to do that. Well, as far as your viewers that you shilled Honey to were concerned, it is supposed to do that. But doesn't really admit that. But shout outs to the entirely hinged and normal people over on the H3 Snark, because this is actually the mod team of H3 Snark that linked these clips. Or I'm assuming that. Oh yeah, no, they have a mod tag or flare or whatever it's called there. And Ambitious Pumpkin 205 found one as well. And then the reason that, or the thing I remembered about Linus before this was that I saw a clip of Destiny talking about tweets that he had made, and then responding to a question that he was asked on one of his streams, like the one we were just watching there. But so these are things that he had said in the past. This is 2022. Don't forget that inflation is designed to intentionally erode your savings so heavy borrowers can pay back their debts. So he's saying, workers are being screwed over at the expense of heavy borrowers. And this know-nothing guy says, a low and steady inflation rate allows everyone to allocate their resources more efficiently and make long-term decisions more confidently, which is good for pretty much everyone. You're right that wealthy people are included under the category of everyone. And Linus says, except low-wage workers. Everyone except them has benefited immensely over the last 50 years. oh man, Linus is really a man of the people. He cares about the working man. And this is in response to this. People were criticizing him, saying a hot take or something like that, I'm assuming. And he says, it's a pretty lukewarm take. Just think about it. Why is an egg worth more dollars today than it was yesterday when the cost of the labor to create the egg didn't go up? So he's essentially saying these companies are just making up the inflation to increase their profits. It's not actually going up. These companies are just trying to screw you over. So yeah, fighting for the people, exposing what, excuse me, sorry, exposing the 1%. And here he says, as an individual, I accept I cannot beat the system, so I work to ensure that, and my children can at least win at it. We also work to make sure that year by year, LMG is becoming continuously a better place to work rather than chipping away at our workers' happiness. And then also, our public health workers are woefully underpaid here, no doubt. So lots of fighting for the people, this guy. And listen to his response to this question.
What protections do you have in place for your staff? Would you support a unionization of stash/camera crew under YouTube creators? Is YouTube creators a thing?
I think he means like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not super up on. Is it a thing?
A good thing you interjected to say, I think he means I don't know. Okay, you can just pipe down until you have something to say.
So I've made it very clear in the past.
Oh, is this the? Yeah, I've heard of this.
I've made it.
And then he interrupts Linus to say that. What? How has this guy been on the show this long? My goodness.
Very clear in the past that I feel that if our staff felt like they needed a union, I would consider that, and Yvonne too, we would both consider it personal failures. Here in Canada...
Yvonne is his wife. But so he says, would you ever consider letting your workers unionize? And he says, if they even seriously consider that, that would be a failure on the part of my wife and I. Okay. Because in those tweets, you seemed a lot more workers' rights than that. The way you were talking seemed like you would have been down for your workers forming a union. And I'm not here to say you should have to or anything like that. He can run his business however he wants. But if you're going to talk like that, and then this is your response to, would you consider unionizing? That's pretty lame. It's pretty lame.
There's absolutely nothing that we'd be able to do to prevent it, legally speaking.
Sorry.
So if they decided that they wanted to approach their engagement with their employer that way, there's absolutely nothing that we could do to challenge them on it. It's actually...
Then he makes and if they decided to do that, they would just destroy my business. Once again, Linus the victim.
Actually, sort of baffling to me that it is possible to have such blatant, like just brazen anti-organizing policies in place in our neighbors to the south. I don't get it. What protect?
And then he criticizes the U.S. for having anti-organizing laws, which fair that they should be criticized, but kind of lame to criticize anti-unionizing laws and then say you wouldn't even be open to it and you'd consider it a complete failure if your workers wanted to unionize.
Protections do you have in place for your staff? I mean, really...
What does that mean?
Friendship.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, we
severance
have,
pay,
like,
insurance.
The dental plan. I'm not really 100% sure what you're asking. There's a lot of legal protections for employees just in general in Canada. Like it's my wife and
then he's saying, well, look, we follow all of the Canadian bare minimum labor laws, all right? So these guys have it great. We don't break any of the Canadian labor laws. Like, these guys, they don't need any special benefits. That's plenty good for these people.
And I joke sometimes it's easier to get a divorce than to fire an employee. Like, it's actually very difficult. So I don't really...
And then he's mad about how hard it is to fire employees. Like, all of these, perfectly fine if these are your opinions. Just super lame and performative to talk on Twitter the way that he does.
I feel like they need additional protections, to be perfectly honest with you.
He straight up says, I don't think my workers need any additional protections outside of just the ones the Canadian law demands that they receive.
This is like the most capitalist, particularly in states where they have at-will employment. It's a totally different story. There's basically no protection whatsoever. You can just dismiss someone for any reason at any time, and they're entitled to like nothing.
Yes.
But that is,
and they just go, other people bad. Other people. Oh, okay.
Not the case up here at all.
Yeah, the bare minimum is plenty up here in Canada.
Obvious Lobster says probably like an anonymous report line for HR. So we do have a third-party HR firm. We do have, if anyone ever had a problem with me, they could take it up with Yvonne, and we do take that anonymity and we do take that privacy very seriously. If they have an issue that is so big that they can't trust.
Yvonne is his wife. If any of my employees have a problem with me, they can just go to my wife. Even if I'm not trying to say anything about your wife being dishonest or anything like that, Linus. You really expect people to feel safe and trust that? Oh, the HR department is my boss's wife. Oh, yeah, I'd totally just go to her with any problems. This guy just pretends to be for the workers and then is just so out of touch, seemingly uncaring with what they actually deal with.
Either of us with.
But again, I'm not saying he has to care. He needs to care. Just shut up on Twitter then.
Frankly, we've failed them anyway. I don't know what we could possibly do to resolve it. I think that overall we try to do a really good job of addressing people's concerns.
His wife.
And I don't know what to tell you guys.
Base, dude. HR is the fucking
every
wife.
Boss in the world says you don't need a union. I'm a good boss. The reality is sometimes you're in.
I just wanted to get that there and at the end. But yeah, this Linus Tech Tips guy, he seems like a slimy loser, all right? And I still, after all, I don't think he's done anything all that sinister. He just seems like a slimy, sniveling loser. A self-victimizing bum. I don't understand why he took this approach instead of taking 5 minutes to own it.